Hello there. I had a feeling the second service was going to be fuller than the first service. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Community of the Mountains in Grass Valley, California. My name is Beth Karow, and today I serve as worship associate for this Sunday morning's service. And I'm very pleased to be joined by Tracy Pepper and Gracie Kendrick, who will be sharing about paying attention within, mindfulness, meditation, and meeting the moment. So whether you're joining us here in the sanctuary or on Zoom, hosted by Eileen, or watching in the future on our YouTube channel, however you have come to be here this morning, whatever faiths you have known, or the flags of your heritage, you are welcome here. In this month where our theme is paying attention, there seems to be an ever-increasing number of things that demand our attention. And let's take the time now to eliminate one of the most persistent, our cell phones. So for the next hour or longer, if you choose, let's take the time now to make sure our phones are set to silence. And I'll share with you, while you're doing that, go ahead and check. I turned my phone back on, and it was my phone that cricketed when I got a text during the service. So I'm going to do it one more time, make sure. Oh yeah, it's off. It is off. Great. Okay. So, now that we've said goodbye to our phones, we'll say hello to each other, paying attention to not only who we are greeting, we want to make sure everyone's included, but also how we are greeting, with a hug, or a handshake, a wave, or a fist bump, or perhaps just a nod and a smile. Being as mindful as possible to meet each other well in this brief moment, I invite you to greet your neighbors. At the first service at this time, I said, you know what, I'm going to look and see where April Fool's Day falls in our Sunday schedule, and maybe we'll just have a whole church service that's just greeting each other. You know, we'll pretend like we're coming to church to do all the church thing, and then we'll just spend it talking to each other. I love that.
In our commitment to be in right relationship with the descendants of this area's indigenous people, we place a small basket of acorns from the black oak tree onto our altar each week.
And we do this to remind ourselves to pay attention, to learn, and to remember that the effects of history continue to live in people's lives and bodies, including our own. And why acorns? Because acorns were a vital source of sustenance for the Nisenan. And because the oak trees carry the effects of history in their bodies, too.
In doing so, we acknowledge that the Nisenan people are still here among us today, though nearly invisible after generations of erasure and exclusion from California's history.
Still here, and understandably cautious about being seen. May we see what the Nisenan want us to see.
We understand that we are on Nisenan land that was never ceded, and the original tribal families have yet to recover from the genocide of their people.
And I'll point out that ceded in this case is spelled C-E-D-E-D, meaning never given up. It's important to know that the land was taken, stolen, and that genocide is the accurate word.
As residents or visitors in Nisenan land, we support the Nevada City Rancheria Nisenan tribe in efforts to stabilize their people, as well as the campaign to restore tribal sovereignty through federal recognition.
Under their guidance and at their request, may we offer our attentive support with respect and care, with commitment and hope, with humility and with love. To practice the revolutionary act of noticing by Reverend Michelle Collins and Everywhere We Walk by Reverend Scott Taylor. Come, awaken your senses to this moment where we practice the revolutionary act of noticing the breath that sustains us, the beauty hiding in ordinary hours, the small things that keep hope alive. Come, let us train our attention on that which leads us home. We kindle this light to help us look upon the world anew. May it help us remember that reverent eyes lead to revelation. In the glow of this hour, may attention be our prayer, the vehicle through which we love this world and enable it to love us back. Thank you. Well, between services, something came here that wasn't here before. It's a beautiful wooden box with some inlay on the top, and I have no idea what's in it. I wonder. Oh, I think I might have somebody who wants to wonder with me. A bunch of Band-Aids. Oh my gosh, like a bunch of Band-Aids. Would you like to carry this upstairs to your class? All right. And we'll, with our littlest ones, go the lights from our chalice, and we will sing you off to your Kids Connection. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Okay, maybe April 1st we'll just sing that song and then we'll greet each other, and then we'll sing that song and then we'll greet each other. We just do that. We'll just do those two things. Oh, goodness. Okay. And now we're going to light our candle of compassion, resistance, and resilience. Compassion for all who suffer, resistance in the face of injustice, and resilience, which holds the vision of a better world for all. In these times of disruption and anxiety, when cruelty is on display in our country and around the world, this flame is a reminder to bear witness to human decency, dignity, and freedom. By this light, let us remember that fear is outrun by hope, and that hatred is no match for the power of love. In the days to come, may this flame light our way forward with courage and with hope. Blessed be, and amen. Whew, well, that felt good. I think I want to do it again. Will you join me in a deep breath? Oh, yeah. Let's do that again. Feel free to keep that going. A good rib expanding breath followed by a full exhale, is a true medicine that is often overlooked and underestimated in its simplicity. A healer woman once told me that our breath is the best first aid. And I think about that a lot. It's always accessible without a prescription. It's free. It doesn't have a use-by date, doesn't need to be warmed up or kept in the fridge. Your breath is always there. No rooting around in your purse or a first aid kit. It always helps to just breathe any moment. And you know what else also seems to help, at least for me, and I think for you too? Coming to our church, our sanctuary, this place made holy by our individual and collective presence. Acknowledging that some of us arrived here this morning deeply concerned about yet another dangerously reckless military action by this administration, this time in the Middle East, where lives are being destroyed and money is being squandered. We've come hoping for support, insight, and inspiration to meet the challenges of this social, political, moral moment. And paying attention also that some come in cautiously buoyed by the announcement of the firing of the cabinet member responsible for some of the worst atrocities to our country's justice system, particularly to the vulnerable immigrants and those who would stand in solidarity with them. And also being mindful that some of us arrive today looking for a blessed chance to turn away from the news, shut out the noise, walk away from all the chaos that is churning in the world, and simply sit still and breathe and pay a closer attention to our own selves for these precious moments. And recognizing also that perhaps most of us make the effort to be here so that we can ground ourselves in the connections, the reminders, the ideas, the rituals, the encouragements to keep moving toward our most true, most clear, most compassionate and courageous selves in order to be able to meet our days as fully and meaningfully as possible. For all these reasons and more, it is good to be together. Come, let us worship. And our wonderful Gail Schultz is coming up to meet the moment. Here we go. Thank you. Gail, do you want me to hold it or do you want to hold it? Good.
Oh, it's fun. Good morning. I'm Gail Schultz, board treasurer, and a UU since 1960. That's actually before the merger of the two U's, so I started out as a Unitarian. Many of you saw the joint sermon that Reverend Kevin and I did last August on why we each became UUs and why we remain. So I won't bore you with my history. If you want to see it, go on the YouTube channel, August 10th, okay. This is my 7th UU congregation over the years. The 3rd where I have served on the board. I've been, all told, I've been president, vice president, treasurer, at large, anyway, okay. And this is my 4th capital campaign. You would think that I would know better by now. Why do I do it? After all, I'm 86, have my physical limitations, and could be very cozy with my cat while I'm doing needlepoint, right? Okay. I do it because I care. And this community has become a part of me since I joined in early 2020. I really believe that we have an important role to fill in this messed up world. And I want to do my bit. So I give of my time, my talent, and my treasure, all that I can give of all three. As you know, I'm co-chair of our dual stewardship campaign with Gail Johnson Vaughn. Hopefully, we two Gails have created quite a storm. Okay. I'm old enough that I remember the actress, okay? As you know, I'm co-chair. We're trying to raise enough money with our annual pledges to cover the cost increases we already see with our current operations. Things such as increased insurance cost for both health insurance and staff, and insurance on our physical building. We also want to continue paying our staff an adequate wage. And of course, we'd like to expand our outreach efforts after we move. With respect to the capital campaign, as I mentioned a week ago Saturday, we have raised over $1,150,000 of our base goal of $1.3 million. I hope you notice that I said our base goal. That is the money we need to be up and running at Squirrel Creek, make needed repairs. We just paid $100,200 for a new roof, gutters, and some dry rot repair. And we also want to begin making that campus our new home. We're putting in new internet service and new audiovisual equipment. Yay. So that we can all see and hear the services, whether in the building or on Zoom. We're fixing leaking faucets and going to do some painting, etc. That's our base. But we've also been imagining things such as a meditation garden, updated children's play area, better outreach to the community, and my personal favorite, solar to reduce our operating costs and move toward being greener. And Beth, I'm sorry to say that a lap pool, a water slide, and a petting zoo would not be approved by the county for that property in a residential area. Okay. Some things are just not quite going to happen, but we have lots of good ideas. That will all take more money beyond the 1.3 million. So please, let's not stop at our base goal, okay? Finally, I'd like to talk a bit about one of the stories that remain important to me from my upbringing as a Lutheran. It's the story of the widow's mite. In this story, Jesus watched the Pharisees in the temple making a fuss over a rich man making a large gift of money. At the same time, a poor widow contributed 2 copper coins, which was all she had to give. Jesus suggested she actually gave more than the rich man because she gave from the heart. What I ask of each of us is to give from the heart. Each gift is sincerely valued. And thank you for your generosity.
We arrive here today with our hearts and minds full of cares and concerns for ourselves, for our loved ones, and for the entire world, especially for the increasing number of vulnerable people in harm's way. Sadness, struggles, worries, hopes, grief, fears, and anxieties, and also joys, appreciations, affirmations, celebrations, good news, triumphs, and tragedies. Such is life, such is love. So much to attend to, so much to pay attention to. So we have the opportunity now to check in with ourselves and attend to what is calling our attention in this, our symbolic weekly ritual of joys and sorrows. When the music starts, if you feel so moved, I invite you to come forward and select one of these stones, tangible symbols of what we bring with us, what is weighing on us today, and then release it into this bowl of water, the symbol of our caring community. In this way, perhaps what is feeling deeply personal may also feel communal. Our burdens made lighter, knowing that they and we are part of something shared. Those on Zoom may choose to briefly write into the chat, or you can type an O or a 0 as a symbolic stone. And whether or not you come forward today, please hold this time in sacred silence as we connect with and attend to what is in our hearts and minds. I place the last rocks, symbols of what we carry that may be too tender yet to come forth and release, but are nonetheless in our hearts. Lynn Cox writes this prayer entitled, "Bring Us Close to the Earth." Spirit of life, ground of our being, root of unified mystery, growing into myriad branches of expression, bring us together now. Bring us close to the earth, ear to the whispering grass, quietly, attentively, waiting with slow breaths, listening for the very stones to cry out with their rocky stories of tectonic plates, meeting and parting, meeting. Their mineral memories of Hadean days, molten rocks flowing and joining their ancient legends of stars, born out of the collapse of other stars. Help us to remember. Help us to piece together our oneness with matter, our oneness that matters. With one more deep breath, may we rise, star stuff, walking and rolling across the surface of an impossible blue-green planet. May we join together to heal what is divided. May we find wholeness within, without, among, between. Eternal source, seed of the universe, help us to grow peace. So be it. Blessed be. Amen.
Voice still and small, deep within all, I hear your call singing. In dark and rain, sorrow and pain, will we remain singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years singing. Voice soul and soul, deep inside all, I hear you call singing. In dark and rain, sorrow and pain, you will remain singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years singing.
Good morning. Before we talk about attention, let me ask you a quiet question. When was the last time you truly noticed your breath? When I was asked to speak on paying attention and meditation, immediately I thought about a time I was a teenager. I lost my father. And when I had to go to school that semester, I had to pick between electives. It was woodworking or cooking or a class called Man and His Environment. I chose Man and Environment, not knowing what that actually meant. Little did I know that that was a choice that would change my life. When I got into that class, we all found out that this was not a regular class, that we would be meditating for the majority of the class. And he said, if you don't want to meditate, you can bring in a book as long as you're quiet. And at first, many of us brought in books. But by the end of the semester, there were only one or two folks. That introduction to meditation led me throughout the years. I have attended group meditations and other meditations, including 10-day silent retreat meditations through Vipassana several times. And I know the value of meditation, so I'm glad to be able to share this message with you. Meditation at its heart, is not about escaping life. It is about noticing that we are already in it. Meditation is often misunderstood. People imagine incense and sitting uncomfortably cross-legged, perfect stillness, and a mind emptied of thought. But meditation is not perfect. And practice, it takes practice. Meditation is practice. And that means the type of practice where we begin again and again and again. Meditation can happen almost anywhere. Standing in line at the supermarket, driving down Highway 99, watching, the farmland go by your window, walking through the woods, washing dishes, sitting beside a hospital bed, and even, yes, sitting quietly in a meeting while breathing slowly and choosing not to react right away. Meditation is less about where we are and more about how we are. At its simplest, meditation is the practice of paying attention, not paying attention to things necessarily outside of ourselves, but paying attention to what's going on inside. Because most of us move through our days only partially here. We replay conversations from yesterday. We rehearse worries from tomorrow or about tomorrow. We scroll, we plan, we analyze, we anticipate. Meanwhile, this moment, the only one we ever truly inhabit, passes by quietly. Meditation gently interrupts that pattern. It says, come back. Right here is enough. Meditation does not mean stopping our thoughts. If meditation meant, if it required an empty mind, none of us would qualify. If anything, the moment we try to stop thinking, the mind often decides that that's the perfect time to start planning next week's meals. The mind thinks. That is its job. It's not out to get us. It's doing what it was intended to do. Meditation simply teaches us not to chase every thought that appears. Imagine sitting beside a river, watching leaves float by. Each leaf is a thought. Meditation is learning that you do not have to jump into the river for every leaf. You can watch, you can breathe, you can remain on the shore, continue breathing. Paying attention becomes an act of kindness toward ourselves, because attention says, I am willing to meet this moment as it is, not improved, not fixed, not judged, just noticed. And if you will, I would like to now practice a bit of meditation with you. We're going to do a 10-hour Vipassana meditation. No, we're not going to do that. This is going to be very, very brief, just to give us an opportunity to breathe. Just one moment. Now, I invite you, if you feel comfortable, to settle gently into your seat. You may place your feet on the floor and allow your hands to rest in your lap. If it feels right, close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take a slow breath in and let it out. Again, and out. Allow the shoulders to soften. Allow the jaws to relax. Just arrive in this moment. Bring your attention to your breathing. Notice the air entering your body. Notice the air leaving your body. Now imagine you are sitting beside a quiet river. The water moves slowly past you. The river is calm. Leaves float down the river. As you are breathing, continuing to breathe, if a thought comes up, leave that thought, place that thought on a leaf. A memory, a plan, a worry, a reminder. Let them exist and just watch them float by. Each leaf, you do not need to follow it. Just let it float downstream. Continuing to stay focused on your breath and knowing that the thoughts are there floating. Pay attention to what it feels like inside. Is there energy? Do you feel any sensations? Are there any pains that may be noticed? Just keep breathing in and out. If you find yourself leaning toward the river to follow a thought, simply return to your breath. Return to your breath. Your breath is your respite. It is a safe place. Ali Ali oxen free from the thoughts. Continue to breathe. You have a thought, put it on a leaf, let it drift on, and breathe. As I said, when the mind wanders, gently come back to the breath, back to this moment. As you're breathing, focus on your skin. Are there any sensations that you are feeling? Maybe a breeze, maybe some warmth, maybe a little tickle, or even a fly. Pay attention while you breathe. Take one slightly deeper breath. And exhale completely. And another. Now, as you begin to return to the room, notice the presence of others gathered here, sharing in this peaceful breathing moment. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. As we return from this moment of quiet attention, may we carry a little more gentleness toward ourselves and toward one another, and remember that practice means coming back again and again. Thank you for sharing this.
And small Deep inside all, I hear you call, singing. In dark and rain, sorrow and pain, still will remain, singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years, singing.
And now please enjoy this video by Sanctuary Boston, a UU choir. More of this.
One, two, three. I'm following my nose, the path appears as we walk it. We'll know which way to go, can't go too far wrong. I mean, look at all this. Look at all this, what a gift, what a gift. The world is a miracle I want to fall back in love with. This is a prayer, if you're there, if you're there, could I find more of this? Carry me in, salt water on my skin. I'm coming home. Close my eyes while you drive. Sometimes it's just time to go. Look at all this, what a gift, what a gift. The world is a miracle I want to fall back in love with. This is a prayer, if you're there, if you're there, could I find more of this? It's that look in your eyes. It's the touch, it's the kiss, it's the pocket of lint. It's the scrape on your knee, it's the knock on the door. It's the no, it's the yes, it's the kid in the store. It's the road, it's the sky, it's that look in your eyes. It's the touch, it's the kiss, it's the pocket of lint. It's the scrape on your knee, it's the knock on the door. It's the no, it's the yes, it's the kid in the store. It's the road, it's the sky, it's that look in your eyes. It's the touch, it's the kiss, it's the pocket of lint. It's the scrape on your knee, it's the knock on the door. It's the no, it's the yes, it's the kid in the store. It's the road, it's the sky, it's that look in your eyes. It's the touch, it's the kiss, it's the pocket of lint. It's the scrape on your knee, it's the knock on the door. It's the no, it's the yes, it's the kid in the store. Look at all this, what a gift, what a gift. The world is a miracle I want to fall back in love with. if you're there, if you're there, could I find more of this? Look at all this, what a gift, what a gift. The world is a miracle I want to fall back in love with. This is a prayer, if you're there, could I find more of this?
I'm so glad that touched you. It really touched me too. So much that I'm actually going to use it in a service, not next week, but the week after, because I want more of this. Gracie Kendrick has to follow that, and don't worry, she will. Thank you, Gracie.
Good morning. Yeah, what a gift. What a gift. So beautiful. When I think about paying attention, the first word that comes to mind for me is listening. First, the kind of listening that Tracy talked about, the listening that comes from quiet and from stillness, and the kind of listening where we pause long enough to notice what gently arises. I trust what comes from that place. And yet the world can be noisy. And so paying attention to what I'm listening to matters also. Because there's another piece that comes into this listening equation that I think is really important, and that is a sense of safety. How safe do I feel? Most of us cannot truly listen if we don't feel safe. And one way to remember that feeling of safety, of ease, is by co-regulating with the natural world. Sometimes that sense of calm can also arise just from watching a video of the beauty and hearing the music. But today, I brought us all a small gift. And I'm going to ask the greeters to pass around the baskets now. So there'll be 4 baskets coming around at the back and at the front. And this gift is a small sprig of rosemary. And she is very happy to be here. When I picked her yesterday, I asked before I took it, and she was delighted to be part of the service. When you get your rosemary, I invite you just to be with your senses, with this little delightful little branch, and just notice her. Notice the color, notice the texture, notice the smell, how it feels. She is a simple reminder of who we really are, a delightful blessing within nature. A simple reminder of who each one of us is, a delightful blessing in nature. Together, we share something remarkable, and that is a collective nervous system. When we are calm and grounded, we help soothe the people around us, a friend, a child, someone who's hurting. And when we are the ones that are feeling unsettled, then we can turn to someone we trust to offer that steady presence back to us. So it is a blessing that we give and receive again and again. And we can also turn to the natural world, of which we are not separate, but a complete part, to remember that feeling of safety, to return to peace, to balance, to harmony. Rosemary herself has been cherished for centuries to strengthen memory, to protect against negative energy, and to support circulation, digestion, and healing of all kinds. Just one small plant, one of the many generous gifts the natural world offers, helping us regulate, helping us remember what safety feels like, so that we may grow our capacity to truly listen and hold space for whatever arises. So perhaps today, this small sprig can be a reminder that safety is something we can return to, that listening begins in stillness, and that the wisdom we seek is already here, in our breath, in each other, and in the living world that holds us all. Thank you.
Thank you. In case you're not a regular attendee here at UUCM, it may be helpful to understand this is the 1 month out of the year when we hold our annual pledge drive, during which members and friends are encouraged to give generously to help fund the church for the following year. These pledges make up the bulk of all our funds, helping us to keep our church running strong. We're also just ramping up a capital campaign, a different special fundraising effort, which will specifically be spent on helping us live into the vision of our new church home on Squirrel Creek. And we also have our weekly offering, the passing of the baskets from hand to hand as they travel around the room. It's an important ritual that we participate in each week, because while the bulk of our giving to the church comes through our annual pledges, we also like to give offerings as the baskets are passed as well. It's symbolic of the many hands, many hearts element of this church, where each person has worth and dignity, and where we each individually are an integral part of the whole. It's important to know that each week's offering is split equally with a local nonprofit organization whose work we value and whose values align with ours. This month, we share our offering donations with Nevada County Citizens for Choice, supporting access to free or low-cost, compassionate, confidential, non-judgmental reproductive health care services for all through the clinic in Grass Valley. And they are passionate advocates for the protection of reproductive rights. And the money that we share with them this month will help support their vision of empowering and honoring individual choice for all. Thank you for giving generously to UUCM in all the ways that you do, and also to C4C, Citizens for Choice. The slide will show other ways to give. Thank you so much for your generosity. We dedicate these gifts to the building of a community where the dignity of every person is honored and upheld by affordable and compassionate health care for all. May it be so. Thank you. And thank you, Heather, so much for the beautiful music. Thank you so much. And to Tracy Pepper, thank you so much. And Gracie Kendrick, thank you so much. Gail Schultz, thank you for speaking to us today. Thank you. And for all you do. And look at all these people to thank. We have Paul and Cypress back there on sound and audio or visual and helping. Oh, Eileen with the Zoomers, the folks upstairs with childcare, Shanti for this beautiful setting. And really, look around, there are so many people to thank. Make sure that you, the refreshments. Oh, speaking of refreshments, I have a really important announcement. You're gonna. Thank you, Beth. Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. So those coffee and conversations that we have in the back with refreshments. We'll still have coffee and tea, but we're cutting off the refreshment. That sounds so mean, right? We're pausing. We're transitioning. As we transition into our new home, we're sort of shutting down that part of it, the refreshments. So, for those who bring in treats and things to share between services, I super appreciate it. And you don't have to anymore for a little while, starting next week, March 15th. So coffee, yes, and not so much with the refreshment or the food. Yeah, the food part. Okay. Where am I? Yeah, well, anyway, we have Jeff Gold's. Oh, Jeff Gold has his beautiful artwork, architectural artwork, and it's opening today. Today's the first, showing, and there's a reception in the library behind, and you can see all these amazing buildings that he's worked on. It's truly a work of art, and he's here today to share that. The Women's Circle is on Monday, potluck and chair yoga. Volunteer with UUCM at Interfaith Food Ministry. That's Tuesday at 2. And then, Ingrid has this beautiful choir that she's put together. It's a brief time to spend some time in the choir, learn some songs, and then come and sing them in church and be a part of a choir. It's a low commitment and really wonderful thing to raise your voices together and sing. Let's see, visiting stewards are coming to talk to you. So answer the phone when they call and schedule your meetings. It's really fun and wonderful, and it's a great way to be a part of UUCM. And for UUCM to get a feel for what it is that you're looking for, what you find helpful, and what you love best about UUCM. So please interact with your visiting stewards. It's a brave job that they have, so treat them nice. And as always, our website is full of information and past services even that you can click on and watch. So check the website. And our closing song today is We Would Be One. We haven't sung it in a while, but some of you will remember it, and I encourage you to sing along. Rise as you're willing and able.
We would be one as now we join the singing our hymn of love to pledge ourselves anew to the gods of greater understanding of who we are and what I come to do. We will be one in living for each other to show to all a new community. We would be one in building for tomorrow a nobler world than we have known today. They would be one in searching for the meaning which blinds our hearts and points us on our way. With one we pledge ourselves in greater service, with love and justice striving will make us free.
Our closing words, Choose Carefully by Reverend Michelle Collins. The flame goes out. 1,000 things now wait for your attention. Choose carefully what receives your gaze, your time, your wonder. For what we tend to is what we become. And though we now extinguish our chalice light with these good words, we know that we will, together, carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. We'll see you next Sunday for Moral Outrage, an Unexpected Bridge with Reverend Kevin Tarsa and Randy McKean. Come have the last of the refreshments.